Internet. It's Alpha6 here, and today we're going to be doing a quick podcast. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What the heck is this? So, quick podcast is just something that I made up, and it's just going to be like a normal podcast, except condensed into maybe, I don't know, somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes. Anyhow, that's basically going to be it. And as you can see on screen right now, and in the title, today's topic will be Infinity War, the new Avengers movie that just came out. So, I have quite a few thoughts on this movie. First of all, is that it is just fantastic. Like, if you were to give me a scale to rate it on, it'd probably be nearly a 10. Just barely missing out. So, first of all, is the scenes that come in the movie. There's all these iconic moments where, oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't watched Infinity War, go watch it, and this is a spoiler warning. So, the scene where Spider-Man goes like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, that's been memeified by now. As you might have already seen on the internet, there's tons of memes about that one quote. And I feel like it only turned out that way because it is honestly something amazing. Like, Spider-Man is one of the characters throughout Infinity War that we see that we get kind of attached to. And then when he says, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, and he starts collapsing, that makes us feel like really sad. And Iron Man starts going like, oh no, you'll be fine, and then Spider-Man disintegrates. So that was one of like the best moments, I feel like. And another is just all the humor that comes with of these Marvel movies, like Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok. It really makes it feel like more complete of a movie rather than just if you told something completely grim, which would be the opposite of Marvel's formula. So that balanced out some of the losses, like the death of Gamora, and then all these other characters actually just being disintegrated when Thanos just snaps his fingers. So that's another thing I thought was really interesting. They let Thanos, the antagonist, follow through with his plan of destroying half of life. And he gathered all the Infinity Stones. He got the Space Stone, the Time Stone, Soul Stone, Mind Stone, Reality Stone, Time Stone. I think I already said that. But you really normally don't see that in a lot of movies where the bad guy gets away with his plan. But there's still going to be a second movie coming up, which actually won't be Infinity War Part 2, apparently. Marvel announced that Infinity War would be its own movie, and Avengers 4 would be a completely different one. Which is kind of interesting to me, because, Infinity War, that ending feels, it leaves you on a roller coaster of emotions. And speaking of endings, the end credits scene where it shows Captain Marvel's logo, I think that'll be really cool to see Captain Marvel show up in the next movie. It would have been funny if Nick Fury just called Captain Marvel, and instead of her actually showing up, she just got disintegrated. But anyhow, I wonder what role Captain Marvel will play in the next movie. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a Captain Marvel movie in between Infinity War 1 and 2. So we will give that a watch. And now, what else about the movie? I guess, well, I mean, it was just a good movie overall. Because when you put so many characters together, you don't, you can't, you have to focus on, like, each one of them, give them each developments. And Marvel actually did that. Like, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, all these people, they all in a way did have their own character development arcs, especially Iron Man. But speaking of Hulk, I think it's funny how Hulk didn't come out. He was just saying no to Banner, which, I mean, he was probably scared of Thanos, honestly, because of the first encounter where Loki got brutally murdered. And then, I think also the groups were quite interesting. Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Doctor Strange went to Titan. Then Captain America, Hulk, Black Widow, all the other Avengers, except for Thor, they were on Earth and Wakanda, protecting Wakanda and Vision's Mind Stone. And then there was Thor and Rocket with Groot, and they went to Nidavellir, I think it's pronounced, to forge his hammer. Or I guess it's an axe now, like, really. Also, following up with that is Thanos' quote saying, "You should have aimed for the head." That was such an epic moment. And then he just snapped his fingers. I guess Thor really should have gone for the head, because he was the only character who could even touch Thanos. Thanos was, like, unbelievably powerful. And then Doctor Strange gives the Time Stone to Thanos, which is insane when you think about him saying that he wouldn't give the Time Stone to Thanos, he would let anyone die to protect the stone. But I remember how Doctor Strange saw 14 million futures. That was probably, and he says before he dies that it was the only way. So he probably had to give up the Time Stone, or Iron Man would have died. And Iron Man was probably alive in the future that they won in. One of the only bad parts about this movie was, once again, like, when you put too many characters in, it becomes kind of hard to develop the other characters rather than the main characters. So all the minor characters didn't really get much development. Like Bucky, we saw him on Wakanda. He got his new arm, but it was kind of short-lived because he just disintegrated right after. So overall, I think it was a really great movie. Like 9.8 out of 10. Definitely watch it. Or why am I saying that? I put a spoiler warning. If you're watching this, then you watched it. So, and yeah, that's gonna be it for the first quick podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I might be doing more about different random topics that I think I could talk about. And so, I'll see you later.